Welcome friends, myself I am Yoganandam, biology lecturer. In today's class, we are going to discuss about molecular basis of inheritance part 3. From this topic, we are going to discuss about transcription, genetic code and translation. These three topics we are going to discuss one by one from this class. Before going to the topic, those who are watching our YouTube channel, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. Those who are already subscribed, you are requested to follow our channel. Let us discuss about the topic. What do you know about transcription? The process of copying genetic information from one strand of the DNA into RNA is termed as transcription. Here also the principle of complementary governs the process of transcription, except the adenosine now forms base pair with uracil instead of thymine. However, unlike in the process of replication, which one set in the total DNA of organism gets duplicated, in transcription only a segment of DNA and only one of the strand is copied into RNA. These necessities define the boundaries that would demarcate the region and the strand of DNA that would be transcribed. Why both the strands are not copied during transcription has the simple answer. First, if both the strands act as template, they would code for RNA molecule with different sequences. Remember, complementarity does not mean identical, and in turn, if the code for protein, the sequence of amino acid in the protein would be different. Hence, one segment of DNA would be called for two different proteins, and this would complicate the genetic information transfer machinery. Second thing is, the two RNA molecule if produced simultaneously would be complementarity to each other, hence would form a double-stranded RNA. This would prevent RNA from being translated into protein and transcription would become a futile one. So try to understand what are the basic informations given about transcription. It is followed by transcription unit. A transcription unit in DNA is defined primarily by the three regions of the DNA such as promoter region, structural gene and terminator. Refer the diagrammatic representation. It is followed by transcription unit and the gene. A gene is defined as the functional unit of inheritance that you all know. However, by defining a cystone is a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide chain. It is generally called as structural unit of gene. The structural gene in a transcription until could be said as monocystonic, mostly in eukaryotes, or polycystonic, mostly in bacteria and prokaryotes. In eukaryotes, the monocystonic structural genes have interrupted coding sequences. The genes in eukaryotes are split. The coding sequences or expressed sequences are defined as exons. Try to remember what is exon. It is a coding sequence. Exons are said to be those sequences that appear in mature or processed RNA. The exons are interrupted by introns. Introns or intervening sequences do not appear in mature or processed RNA. It is followed by process of transcription. How does it is carried out? There is a convention in defining two strands of the DNA in the structural gene of transcription unit. Since the two strands have opposite polarity and the DNA dependent RNA polymerase also catalyze the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5 to 3 direction. The strand that has the polarity 3 to 5 direction act as template and is also referred to as template strand. The other strand which has polarity 5 to 3 and the sequence same as RNA except thymine at the place of uracil is displaced during transcription. Strangely, this stand, which does not code for anything, is referred to as coding stand. All the reference point while defining a transcription unit is made with coding stand. The promoter and terminator flank the structural gene in a transcription unit. The promoter is said to be located towards 5' end. It is generally called as upstream of the structural gene. The reference is made with respect to the polarity of coding stand. It is a DNA sequence that provides binding site for RNA polymerase, and it is presence of promoter in a transcription unit that also define the template and coding stands. By switching its position with the terminator, the definition of coding and template stands could be reversed. The terminator is located towards 3' end. It is generally called as downstream of the coding stand, and it usually defines the end of the process of transcription. In bacteria, there are three major types of RNAs such as messenger RNA, transfer RNA, it is otherwise called as soluble RNA, and ribosomal RNA. So you try to remember what are the three types of RNAs: mRNA, tRNA, and rRNA. All three RNAs are needed to synthesize a protein in a cell. mRNA provides the template, tRNA brings amino acid and read the genetic code, and rRNA plays structural and catalytic role during translation. There is a single DNA dependent RNA polymerase that catalyzes transcription of all types of RNA in bacteria. RNA polymerase binds to promoter and initiates transcription. It is generally called as initiation. It uses nucleoside triphosphates or substrates and polymerases in a template dependent fashion following the rule of complementarity. It somehow also facilitate opening of the helix and continuous elongation. Only a short stretch of RNA remains bound to the enzyme. Once the polymerase reaches the terminator region, the nascent RNA falls off, so also the RNA polymerase. This results in termination of transcription. An intriguing question is that how is the RNA polymerase able to catalyze all the three steps, which are initiation, elongation, and termination. Refer the diagrammatic representation. It is given very clearly. The RNA polymerase is only capable of catalyzing the process of elongation. It associates transiently with initiation factor. It is generally called as sigma factor, and terminator factor, P factor, to initiate and terminate the transcription respectively. There are three types of RNA polymerases are given. RNA polymerase 1, example it is ribosomal RNA 5.8S, 18S, 28S. RNA polymerase 2, example hnRNA, and RNA polymerase 3. Try to remember what are the examples which are given. snRNAs, 5 srRNAs, tRNA. These are all some examples they are given. Association with these factors alter the specificity of the RNA polymerase to either initiate or terminate. In eukaryotes, there are two additional complexities. There are at least 3 RNA polymerases in the nucleus. In addition to RNA polymerase found in the organelles, there is a clear-cut division of labor. RNA polymerase 1 transcribes ribosomal RNAs such as 28S, 18S and 5.8S. RNA polymerase 2 transcribes precursor of messenger RNA, the heterogeneous nuclear RNA, that is hnRNA. And third type is RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for the transcription of tRNA, that is a transfer RNA, 5 srRNA and snRNAs. Small nuclear RNAs are generally called as snRNAs. The second complexity is that the primary transcripts, that is heterogeneous nuclear RNA, contain both the exons and the introns and are non-functional. Hence, it is subjected to process called splicing, where the introns are removed and the exons are joined in a defined order. hnRNA. So you all know what you know about hnRNA. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA undergoes additional processing called as capping and tailing. In capping, an unusual nucleotide, that is methyl guanosine triphosphate, is added to 5 end of the hnRNA. In tailing, adenylate residues, that is 200 to 300, are added at 3 end in a template independent manner. It is the fully processed hnRNA. So try to understand what is hnRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA, now called messenger RNA, that is transported out of the nucleus for translation. The split gene arrangement represent probably an ancient future of the genome. The presence of introns is resistant of antiquity, and the process of splicing represent the dominance of RNA world. So try to remember what are the things we have discussed about the process of transcription. How does the transcription takes place? What are the enzymes? What are the 3 types of RNA polymerases take part during the process of transcription? Everything you try to remember. That is very clearly given with the help of diagrammatic representation. While you are seeing the diagrams, you can able to understand easily. It is followed by genetic code. The process of translation requires transfer of genetic information from a polymer of nucleotides to a polymer of amino acids. There existed ample evidences, though, to support the notion to change in nucleic acid, that is genetic material, were responsible for change in amino acids in proteins. This led to the proportion of genetic code that could direct the sequence of amino acids during the synthesis of proteins. In a very true sense, it is required involvement of scientists from several disciplines such as physicist, organic chemist, biochemist and geneticist. It was George Gamow, a physicist, who argued that since there are only 4 bases and if they have to code for 20 amino acids, the code should constitute a combination of bases. George Gamow suggested that in order to code for all the 20 amino acids, the code should be made up of 3 nucleotides. This was a very bold proposition because a permutation combination of force cube, that is 4 into 4 into 4, that would be generate 64 codons. So try to remember, totally there are how many codons? 64 codons, generating many more codons than required, providing proof that the codon was a triplet was more daunting task. The chemical method developed by Hargobin Khorana was instrumental in synthesizing RNA molecule with defined combinations of bases. That means homopolymers and copolymers. It is followed by Marshall Nirenberg's cell-free system for protein synthesis finally helped the code to be deciphered. In Severo-Ogawa enzyme, it is commonly called as polynucleotide phosphorylase, was also helpful in the polymerizing RNA with defined sequences in a template independent manner with the help of enzymatic synthesis of RNA. The codons was triplet. It is also confirmed by frame shift mutations. Finally, a checkerboard for genetic code was prepared. So refer that checkerboard is given very clearly with the help of diagrammatic representation. While you are seeing that checkerboard, you can able to understand totally there are how many codons are given. What are the salient features of genetic code? The codon is triplet. There are 61 codons code for amino acids and 3 codons do not code for any amino acids. Hence, they function as stop codons or nonsense codons or termination codons. Try to remember, there are totally how many codons? 64 codons. From that 64 codons, how many codons can able to code for amino acids? 61 codons. From the remaining 3 codons do not code for any amino acids. Such kind of codons are called as stop codons or nonsense codons or termination codons. These are UAA, UAG and UGA. For that names also given OCHRE, that is UAA, amber, that is UAG, and UGA, opal. One codon codes for only one amino acid, hence it is unambiguous and specific. Some amino acids are coded by more than one codon, hence the code is degenerate. This property is called degeneracy or redundancy. There are 61 codons code for 20 amino acids. This is degeneracy. The codon is read in mRNA in a continuous fashion. There are no punctuations. Codons are commaless. There is no comma or punctuation located in between codons. The code is nearly universal. For example, from bacteria to human, triple U, that is UUU, would code for phenylalanine. Some exceptions to this rule have been found in mitochondrial codons and in some protozoans. AUG has dual function. It codes for methionine and also it also acts as initiator codon. So this is one of the important topic. Try to remember what are the salient features given about genetic code. It is followed by mutation. Mutation is a phenomenon which results in alteration of DNA sequences and consequently results in changes in the genotype and the phenotype of an organism. In addition to recombination, mutation is another phenomenon that leads to variation in DNA. Therefore, loss, it is called as deletions, or gain, it is called as insertion or duplication of a segment of DNA, result in alteration in chromosomes. Since genes are known to be located on chromosomes, alternation in chromosomes results in abnormalities or aberrations. Chromosomal aberrations are commonly observed in cancer cells. There are many chemical and physical factors that induce mutations that are referred to as mutagens. UV radiations can cause mutations in organisms. It is a mutagen. The mutagens are broadly classified into physical and chemical. Physical mutagenic agents such as UV rays, gamma rays, alpha rays are some common examples. A classical example of point mutation in a change of single base pair in a gene for beta globin chain that results in the change of amino acid residue glutamate to valine. It results into a diseased condition called as sickle cell anemia. It is followed by mutations and a genetic code. The relationship between genes and DNA are best understood by mutation studies. Deletion and insertions of base pairs of DNA causes frame shift mutations. Insertion or deletion of one or two bases changes the reading frame from the point of insertion or deletion. Insertion or deletion of three or its multiple bases insert or delete one or multiple codons, hence one or multiple amino acids, and regarding frame remains unaltered from the point onwards. Such mutations are referred to as frame shift insertion or deletion mutations. This forms the genetic basis of FROOP. That codon is a triplet and it is read in a continuous manner, followed by types of RNA. Try to remember what are the three types of RNAs: messenger RNA, transfer RNA, it is otherwise called as soluble RNA, and ribosomal RNAs. So here we are going to discuss more about tRNA. It is an adaptive molecule. Crick postulated the presence of an adapter molecule that would on one hand read the code and on other hand would bind to a specific amino acid. The tRNA, then called sRNA, it is generally called as soluble RNA, was known before the genetic code was postulated. However, its role as an adapter molecule was assigned much later. Refer the diagrammatic representation with 4 arms. tRNA has an anticodon loop that has bases complementary to the code, and it also has an amino acid acceptor end to which it bind to amino acids. tRNAs are specific for each amino acid. For initiation, there is another specific tRNA that is referred to as initiator tRNA. There are no tRNAs for stop codons. The secondary structure of tRNA has been depicted that looks like clover leaf-like model. In actual structure, the tRNA is a compact molecule which looks like inverted L-shaped. Refer the diagrammatic representation. So you are seeing the diagrammatic representation. It is easy to understand. Then let us discuss about another important topic, translation. Translation refers to the process of polymerization of amino acid to form polypeptide chain. The order and the sequence of amino acids are defined by the sequence of bases in the mRNA. Protein synthesis requires ribosome, amino acids, messenger RNA, transfer RNA, ribosomal RNA. Messenger RNA functions as template. Transfer RNA reads the genetic code and brings AA, that is amino acid. Ribosomal RNA plays a structural and catalytic role. The amino acids are joined by a bond which is known as peptide bond. Formation of a peptide bond requires energy. Therefore, in the first phase itself, amino acids are activated in the presence of ATP and linked to their cognate tRNA, a process commonly called as charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA, to be more specific. If two such charged tRNAs are brought close enough, the formation of peptide bond between them would be favored energetically. The presence of catalyst would enhance the rate of peptide bond formation. The cellular factory responsible for synthesizing protein is ribosome. The ribosome consists of structural RNAs and about 80 different types of proteins. In its inactive state, it exists as two subunits, a large subunit and small subunit. When the small subunit encounters an messenger RNA, the process of translation of the mRNA to protein begins. There are two sites in the large subunit for subsequent amino acid to bind to and thus be close enough to each other for the formation of a peptide bond. The ribosome also acts as catalyst. It is 23S ribosomal RNA in the bacteria is the enzyme ribozyme for the formation of peptide bond. A translational unit in messenger RNA is the sequence of RNA that is flanked by the start codon, that is AUG, and the stop codon and codes for polypeptide. And messenger RNA also has some additional sequences that are not translated and are referred as untranslated regions. In short form, it is called as UTR. The UTRs are present at both 5' end before start codon and at 3' end after stop codon. They are required for efficient translation process. For initiation, the ribosome binds to the messenger RNA at the start codon AUG, that is recognized only by the initiator tRNA. The ribosome proceeds to the elongation phase of protein synthesis. During this stage, complexes composed of an amino acid linked to tRNA sequentially bind to the appropriate codon in messenger RNA by forming complementary base pairs with the tRNA anticodon. The ribosome moves from codon to codon along the messenger RNA. Amino acids are added one by one, translated into polypeptide sequences dictated by DNA and represented by messenger RNA. At the end, a release factor binds to the stop codon, terminating translation and releasing the complete polypeptide from the ribosome. In this slide, it is very clearly given a group of ribosomes associated with a single mRNA, that is messenger RNA for translation, is called as polyribosome. Refer, it is otherwise called as polysomes. And messenger RNA has additional sequences that are not translated. Such sequences are called as untranslated regions or UTR. That already we have discussed, you try to remember. UTRs are present at both 5' end before start codon and 3' end after the stop codon. They are required for the efficient translation process. So this and all already we have discussed, you try to remember. Here that is very clearly given with the help of diagrammatic representation. Here the diagrammatic representation is given very clearly. The overall translation action with the help of a large subunit and a small subunit. It is followed by the initiation process is given. During initiation, methionine tRNA binds to P site. It is followed by the elongation process is given. The second tRNA binds to A site, that is a peptide bond is formed. See the overall elongation process, how does it takes place? It is followed by termination. During termination, how does the translation process getting over? That is given with the help of diagrammatic representation by the formation of stop codon. Let us discuss about the regulation of gene expression. Regulation of gene expression refers to a very broad term that may occur at various levels. Considering that gene expression results in the formation of a polypeptide, it can be regulated at several levels. In eukaryotes, the regulation could be exerted at transcription level, that means formation of primary transcript, processing level, that is regulation of splicing, transport of mRNA from nucleus to the cytoplasm, finally translation level. The gene in the cell are expressed to perform a particular function or a set of functions. For example, if an enzyme called beta galactosidase is synthesized by E. coli, it is used to catalyze the hydrolysis of a disaccharide lactose into galactose and glucose. The bacteria use them as a source of energy. Hence, if the bacteria do not have lactose around them to be utilized for energy source, they would be no longer require the synthesis of enzyme beta galactosidase. Therefore, in simple terms, it is the metabolic, physiological or environmental conditions that regulate the expression of genes. The development and differentiation of embryo into adult organisms are also a result of the coordinated regulation of expression of several set of genes. In prokaryotes, control of the rate of transcriptional initiation is the predominant site for control of gene expression. In a transcription unit, the activity of RNA polymerase at a given promoter is in turn regulated by interaction with the auxiliary proteins, affect its ability to recognize start sites. These regulatory proteins can act both positively, that means activators, and negatively repressors. The accessibility of promoter regions of the prokaryotic DNA is in many cases regulated by the interaction of proteins with sequences termed as operators. The operator region is adjacent to the promoter elements in most operons, and in most cases the sequences of the operator bind a repressor protein. Each operon has its specific operator and a specific repressor. For example, LAC operator is present only in the LAC operon and it interacts specifically with LAC repressor only. Transcriptional initiation is the predominant site for control of gene expression. Let us discuss about LAC operon. The elucidation of LAC operon was also result of a close association between a geneticist Francois Jacob and biochemist Jacques Monod. They were the first to elucidate a transcriptionally regulated system. In LAC operon, here LAC refers lactose. A polycystonic structural gene is regulated by a common promoter and regulatory genes. Such arrangement is very common in bacteria and is referred to as operon. To name few such examples, LAC operon, TRP operon, ARA operon, IS operon, VAL operon, etc. LAC operon is prototype to inducible operon. In inducible operon, presence of a chemical switch on the operon. The LAC operon consists of one regulatory gene, that is the I gene. Here the term I does not refer to inducer, rather it is derived from the word inhibitor, and three structural genes such as Z, Y and A. The I gene codes for the repressor of LAC operon. The Z gene code for beta galactosidase, that is B-gal, which is primarily responsible for the hydrolysis of the disaccharide lactose into its monomeric units galactose and glucose. The Y gene codes for permease, which increases permeability of the cell to beta galactosidase. The A gene encodes the transacetylase. Hence, all the three genes and their products in LAC operon are required for metabolism of lactose. In most other operons as well, the genes present in the operon are needed together to function in the same or related metabolic pathway. operator gene is switched off in the presence of a repressor. RNA polymerase binds with the promoter gene. Lactose is the substrate for the enzyme beta galactosidase and it regulates switching on and off of the operon. Hence, it is termed as inducer. In the absence of preferred carbon source such as glucose, if lactose is provided in the growth medium of bacteria, the lactose is transported into the cell through the action of permease. Remember, a very low level of expression of lac operon has to be present in the cell all the time. Otherwise, lactose cannot enter into the cell. The lactose then induces the operon in the following manner. Refer the diagrammatic representation. It is very clearly given. The repressor of the operon is synthesized all the time constitutively from the I gene. The repressor protein binds to the operator region of the operon and prevents RNA polymerase from transcribing the operon. In the presence of an inducer such as lactose or allolactose, the repressor is inactivated by the interaction with the inducer. This allows RNA polymerase access to the promoter and transcription proceeds. Essentially, the regulation of lac operon can also be visualized as a regulation of enzyme synthesis by its substrate. Remember, glucose or galactose cannot act as inducers for lac operon. Regulation of lac operon by repressor is referred to as negative regulation. Lac operon is under the control of positive regulation as well, but it is beyond the scope of discussion at this level. Each operon has its specific operator and a specific repressor. For example, lac operon is present only in lac operon and it interacts specifically with lac repressor only. So try to remember, this is one of the important topic for NEET examination as well as for board examination.
லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.